Hola, muy buenas tardes. Primero que todo, le quiero agradecer a todo el equipo del PLI por realmente organizar un evento tan innovador y tan especial. De veras, muchísimas gracias por darme la oportunidad. Yo estoy aquí para contarles una pequeña historia de cómo un grupo de mujeres, primordialmente latinoamericanas, imaginamos los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible, o como a mi mamá le gusta decirle, los ODS. Y si hablamos de los ODS, cuando lo decimos en inglés, ODS quiere decir raro. Y realmente por muchos años los ODS fueron una propuesta muy rara y muy difícil de convencer a la gente. Realmente fuimos un grupo pequeño, de países pequeños, que impulsaron esta propuesta. Entonces, antes de contarles la historia, tenemos que hablar de qué existía antes de los ODS. Y estos eran los SDGs. ¿Quién aquí me puede decir qué eran los SDGs? Levanten la mano con qué objetivos eran. No oigo. Señora, ¿qué? Yes, but what goals? What themes had the Millennium Development Goals? Was it about climate change or peace? Pobreza, sí, muy bien, pobreza. ¿Qué más habían los SDGs? Muertes, muy bien. Maternal mortality, muy bien, excelente. ¿Qué más? Water and sanitation. Very good. So there were only 8 objectives, very, very concrete, measurable. And the great thing about the SDGs was that it was the first time that the entire international community focused on goals. It was a true experiment that really guided the efforts of nations of the world. It became the ABC of development. And for 15 years, these SDGs, while they were not completely achieved in all nations of the world, they did change the world nations operated. The biggest, or one of the biggest challenges of the SDGs is that they separated the world from north and south, from donors and recipients. So basically, the SDGs had a recipe for development, and the North had the answers, and the South had to obey. So it was 2011, and diplomats were starting to think, well, what's going to happen next? What's going to replace the SDGs? And most donors, most recipients were thinking we're just going to have an MDG plus agenda, which meant, okay, we're going to add a few targets here or there, perhaps we're going to add 1 goal or 2 goals at the most. It was a very kind of, let's keep the consensus where it is, let's not reopen it, let's not renegotiate them, let's keep basic business as usual. However, my friend from Colombia, Paula Caballero, had a different idea. She started thinking, well, what if we can create a set of universal goals? What if this agenda is integrated and it is construed in silos like water and poverty and health? What if we're able to thread an integrated, holistic system? Of course, everyone thought she was crazy, except some other crazy people like us. So here's my friend Paula, and here's my friend Victor from Peru and Guatemala as well. So really, the origins of the SDGs were Latin American. And that's a very important thing for all of us to know. They came from here. They were birthed here. So, it was 2012 and we were at a crossroads. We were in Rio, again in Brazil, in the region. We were at a crossroads, like the famous poem. We either had to take the MDG road or go with this crazy SDG small caps proposal. The big guys kept insisting MDG+. The small ones kept saying SDGs. This was a turning point because the previous 2 years it was a lonely road. But in Rio we got the mandate. Okay, let them figure out what the SDGs are. Just get them working. So they gave us a mandate and they said, okay, invite only 30 countries to craft the SDGs, and then the rest of us will evaluate. Okay, so we went back to New York and we sent invitations for 30 countries. So each region had 5 seats. wow, this was a turning point because everyone wanted to be part of this group. So the 30 group became a 70 group of countries. But no, countries still kept knocking at the door and said, no, we want to be in, we want to be in. So it became a true assembly of the world. What's really fascinating about this story is that usually when we negotiate, and those of you that know the Paris agreements and other agreements, you negotiate in blocks. So you have the EU, you have the developing countries, and then you have a few outliers like the Nordics. But basically you can fit the entire world in a dining table. Here, everyone wanted to speak. We broke the structures of the traditional negotiations. And that's when we have targets that are so controversial that got adopted, such as ending child marriage and women's reproductive health and sexual rights. Things that would have never achieved under the current natural, traditional order of things. And this is how we got an agenda that's universal, where climate and peace is there, but also when you look at poverty and health and education, you have education is not only about achieving quality education, but also about education for the entire life cycle, or healthy life. So it's applicable to Guatemala as well as to Japan. And that has shifted. It's no longer about the North telling the South. But when we talk about sustainable consumption and production patterns, my Indian colleague said, I have good solutions that the US could implement. It is transforming and shifting the normal patterns and relationship between North and South, between nations, between individuals. So that's one of the biggest shifts, mind shifts, that the agenda is proposing. But of course, Latin America played a huge role. So what I'm here also to advocate is, if we had such a powerful role in negotiating the SDGs, we should also have a powerful role in implementing the SDGs. And, you know, the time of the diplomats is over. The time of those type of idealistas is over. It's really the heroes of this next story, all of you. All the people that have these great ideas on innovation, on entrepreneurship, that can really transform the world. So that's it, folks. I think we have a few minutes if you have any questions, but if not, thank you very much.